Hey everyone, so day 15, and thanks to the prompting by our leader, Simon, I'm going to just keep talking until I can't talk anymore. So on this topic. So this topic is all about shame. Shame and embarrassment and things that we hide behind what we consider shame. So here's my guilty pleasure. I love Candy Crush. Yep, I do. And I was so embarrassed and so kind of ashamed to admit that I loved something that was so unproductive or unresourceful or just a whole bunch of things that were that only my very, very closest, like my children, were the only ones that knew about it. So what actually happened is like a year and a half ago, maybe, I was walking my dog with a girlfriend and her dogs. And interestingly, I actually shared this guilty pleasure with her. And I was telling her that how embarrassed I was to admit that when I'm kind of sitting around watching telly, or if I'm just in my bed before I go to sleep, I will play as many rounds as I can of Candy Crush. Not just Candy Crush, but you know, all those iPhone games. And to my utter delight and surprise, she told me that her husband loves Candy Crush. Now, maybe for you, that doesn't mean anything. But if you know him, well, I can't mention which company he is, but he is like the CEO of one of the most established companies in Australia. He's been at the helm of that company for now, I think, like 6 or 7 years. He has a kick-ass job. His wife and children are dear, I mean, they all are dear friends of mine, but just the fact that her husband loves Candy Crush, I was just like blown away. So blown away that I must have shown her that I could not believe it. And she's like, no, you don't realize. For him, it's his time to separate from reality. Anyway, the next time I saw him, I shared with him my shared guilty pleasure. And he said, no, this is not like a guilty pleasure. There's no guilt involved. It's his way to meditate. When he used those words, I was gobsmacked. I actually thought, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, my perspective totally shifted. And it was something as innocuous as a game that actually doesn't do anything, no harm to anybody. Maybe it just limits my growth. But then, just recently, I was doing the Gene Keys, and one of the most important parts of the process of growth and ascension and expansion is that calm contemplation, something between meditation and learning. Right down the middle is contemplation. So all this tells me that, you know, our perspective on things, and I said it on day 1 or day 2 of our 90-day challenge, we are perfect. Yeah, okay, there's nearly no such thing as perfect. Or is there? Are we missing the point? The point being, we cover ourselves with all these stickies, like Sage Robbins has told us, stickies that have labels. Just remove the labels. It gives you a freedom. And yeah, that's just been a huge revelation. It also led me to believe that this sense of perfection is just about acceptance. So this perfection story, there's another way for me to enter this story or this topic. So one day I was talking to some Platt sisters, and we won't mention names. And one of them was explaining to us that she and her husband were having huge problems, and that it was make or break time, and that she and he were never intimate. And it kind of looked like, yeah, okay, this kind of makes sense to the rest of us. Then another woman in the group started talking about her relationship with her husband. And she was saying, well, they're happily married, and yet they don't have intimacy either. And then I just piped up, well, isn't that interesting? I'm not in a relationship, so I'm not being intimate with anyone. And what was really fascinating is that all three of us, we kind of were trying to make sense of our own lives in reflection of, or in understanding of other people's lives. Like, I would love to be in a relationship. My girlfriend who's having troubles, or the friend who's having troubles with her husband, does not want to be in a relationship. And then the woman who is in a happy relationship but has little or no intimacy. So it made me think, what is perfection? It's a reach. It's just something that you can change all the time. It can be outward, it can be inward. So it's available. It's just available all the time. Well, I've tried to talk for 10 minutes. It says it's nearly 7 minutes, which I think is amazing because I don't think I ever stop talking. So the challenge of being for 10 minutes, am I really going to find another topic to talk about? Well, I could mention that my children, they're perfect. They're perfect. Meaning that the experiences they have will just give them opportunity if they think it's available, if they think they're perfect in an imperfect way, or imperfect in a perfect way. It's not about an absolute. So back to the shame. I don't want my children to walk through life with shame stuck to them. No. And I don't want to do that. Even this morning at the gym, I was lifting some weights and my trainer asked me to look at my reflection in the mirror, and all I could see was large muscles, large fat, large. And I just said, oh my God, I'm fat. And my trainer said, no, unacceptable. That's not true, and it's your perspective. And he gave me another pearl, and he said, speak to yourself as if you were speaking to your daughter. And it's true. If my daughter told me she was fat, I wouldn't allow it. I wouldn't offer that as an opinion. I would say there is no thing better than being happy just the way you are. So that was really cool that he reminded me. And if I want to be thinner, then I just need to put that in my focus. And if I want to be fitter, which is better, I should put that in my focus. So I go to the gym. I'm pretty fit. I haven't been sick for months, and that makes me great. It makes me happy. So thanks everybody for listening. I really got to get packing. I'm off to France. Can't wait to get to Paris again. It's my second home, and here we go. See you on the other side.